Good afternoon, family, and welcome back to another episode of GodSpeed, where we provide you a weekly market overview for the Lexus LC500. All right, family, we have a very unique episode this week. I'm actually saddened because a beautiful 7,000-mile, $72,000 2019 Inspiration Series was both listed and sold this week before I could even get it in front of you guys for our weekly review. With that being said, I definitely got it out there for you all who are actually following the shorts. And actually, it might even have helped someone to see it a bit faster and snatch it up before it got the full awareness of the market. So if you are a part of the market and you picked up that beautiful, yellow 2019 Inspiration Series, please drop a comment in the chats so we can celebrate with you, okay? All right, family, tonight's lineup includes a uniquely wrapped 2020 that is just so well priced that we got to at least talk about it, a $72,000 2021 convertible, and the lowest price 2023 on the market. Okay, fam, let's get into tonight's episode, but before we do, I greatly appreciate your continued support. Please do subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Let's get into tonight's lineup. Guys, right out of the gate, I want to get talking about this 2023, right? Now, this is an interesting opportunity for us because, number one, it's a bespoke build. It's only 1 year old. It does have some higher miles that we'll talk about, but let's just kind of get into some of the images on it first real quick, right? So we've got this beautiful ultra white exterior. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a bespoke build, so we're going to see somebody who literally got a chance to add all the goodies and options that they wanted to on here, right? All right, obviously starting out with these amazing 21-inch 5-spoke black wheels directly from the dealer. We've got some tint that's already been done on this one. Okay, here's a quick just kind of, heads up, right, as we walk through this package, right? So we've got a $109,000 vehicle that was built out. And of course, right, we'll go through some of the goodies and extras and stuff like that onto this vehicle. But when we come to the price of $79,995, I think it makes a lot of sense for us to, out of the gate, just realize that, listen, this is already $29,000 off of the MSRP, which was delivered last year, okay? So couple things that they added to this vehicle, which I really love, right? They've got the black headlight housing piece right here, which is optional. It came on some of the Inspiration Series, particularly the 2022, right? But this is also optional as a part of the bespoke build, okay? The other piece that we're seeing here in the front that's optional as a part of the bespoke build is this darker chrome area, right? This dark chrome or this smoke chrome piece right here, okay? Right, because that's so dark, you'll kind of almost miss the fact that they also have the carbon fiber lower grille insert in here as well, right? Again, all of these are extremely desirable mods to the vehicle, but you get the better than a mod because it's straight from the manufacturer, right? Interestingly enough, when you're building out this vehicle, those parts are not that expensive, right? What's expensive is that entry point just to get into the bespoke program in order to get access to all of these accessible and customizable options, okay? All right, let's look at what else we've got here, right? We've got the retractable spoiler added onto this one as well. You also have the rear black headlights on this one, or smoked out on this one. I'm looking as we get down here to the bottom. Doesn't look like they went for the darker aspects on the chrome down here, but they definitely did on the top of the rear headlights right there. I'm sorry, rear tail lights, okay? They already debadged this one. I don't know if that's a bespoke option or not. I'll have to look into that one. But either way, I think it looks extremely sleek and elegant on the back. Again, we've got that retractable spoiler, which a lot of people love. We've got this amazing circuit red interior, right? They've got the sports package, or let me say, because we're talking about a bespoke build, let me not confuse it. We've got the sport seats in this one, which comes with the more support bolstering, as well as the Alcantara inserts to match the doors and the rear seats. I'm pretty sure they're going to have the carbon fiber seals on this one. Not sure if we'll get a chance to see those or not. We've got the glass top, right, which I'm a big fan of, right? I love the rear spoiler that they've added on here, but they've actually opted in for the glass top over the carbon fiber top. 17,000 miles. I think we got to also take into consideration that those 17,000 miles were put on in the span of a year, right? And so that means highway miles, or at least that's what I'm thinking in my mind, translates to highway miles, which is easier on the vehicle. Probably not going to get a chance to dog it on the highway as much as you would light to light. Okay. Let's look at the Deets a little bit, right? We talked about a 2023, so only 1 year old. Right here from the algorithm, we're seeing already that this thing is at least $4,200 below market. Okay. We've got 17,000 miles on it, which, let's face it, I know that is definitely more than the 10,000 mile allotment. But again, like I said, it's almost impossible for somebody to put 18,000 miles almost on a vehicle just driving in city, right? This was somebody who absolutely had this on some highways, and you just got to, take that in consideration, right, when you're purchasing the vehicle. Again, a lot less stress on every component of the vehicle because it was, for the most part, probably cruising on some major interstate. Okay. Exterior white, we talked about that circuit red. Interior, what else do we know on this one? Couple exciting things, right, that we know is that we've got 0 accidents on this one. That's tremendous. And this is only a one owner vehicle. Again, love both of those specs because that's what really helps us to see a tremendous advantage in this $79,995 price. Now, thinking about like what else is comparable in this price point, guys, you know that heck, we see 2018s that cost this much with low miles. Okay. Obviously we see 21s, and we've got some 22s that are down in this price point, but we've not seen a 23 to date that is this price point. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there is one 23 hybrid out there that might be lingering in at this $79,995 price point, or just a few dollars above it. But no disrespect to the hybrid, right? We're talking about a V8 on this one, and those are two completely different vehicles, in my opinion, and in most of you guys' opinion, that I've had a chance to hear out, right? Okay, so family, I think we've got a tremendous contender here, right? Especially if you like this particular build, which is very, very unique, right? And the one thing I didn't see, I don't know if I looked over it. Okay, there it is. I'm sorry. I was misplacing that. I got a chance to see that bespoke badge right there, right? But there's the bespoke build badge right there. I think we've got the very last year that you could pick up the circuit red. So if you were a fan of the circuit red, this is the last year you're picking up that circuit red. This was also the last bespoke year that you could actually get this very much integrated design, right? Now, I get it. You don't get some of the technology that came in the 24, but guys, there's two different camps on the old, the original build versus the new 2024 and beyond build, right? And while the technology is spectacular, right, there is some design components, right, that are very much missed in the 2024s when we look at this dash aspect here, okay? All right, so if you're looking for this type of build, family, you got $79,000 in the budget for your vehicle. Man, I don't think you can go wrong with this guy. Let me see again who this was being offered from. This is offered from J&S Mitsubishi out here in New Jersey. I mean, I'm not going to go through my spiel on this one, but guys, you always know my approach, right? I'm absolutely jumping in and taking this to the Lexus dealership because it's a very large investment, but I'm going to take this to the Lexus dealership, and more than likely what I think you're going to hear when you get there, you give them a couple $100 and you're going to hear a lot of, guys, everything checks out on this vehicle, and oh my gosh, this is a 23 for $79,000. That's a great deal. Okay. All right, guys, next out of the gate is this amazing 2021 option. Now, I've got this in front of us because, man, we are in the dead heat of summer, right? And we haven't had a chance to talk about convertibles in a while. And traditionally, that's because convertibles have stayed up there in price point. Now, this one has actually been on the market for a while, but this one's finally coming in at that almost $70,000 price point. And I'm saying that out loud because I think, let me look and double check real quick before I get too far into my rant about how long this has been on the market. Yeah, 64 days, okay? And, interestingly enough, family, right, we are about to exit Q2. Okay, so you guys know that, and for those who don't know, the end of the month, the end of the quarter, these are some motivating times for sellers and dealers, right? And brokers, because, they still want to get this stuff off and not have to pay for another month worth of having it on the lot, advertising and all that good stuff. Okay. So I think we've got some opportunity to get this one even lower. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say that if I'm partnering with these folks out here, I'm going to absolutely start my negotiations under $70,000, right? And then maybe we walk back up to a 70,000 flat out the door. You guys got to take into consideration, right? I appreciate a lot of the comments and feedbacks we've been getting over the past few weeks that gives us some insight that, listen, we got to remember, right? If we haven't been on the lot, if we hadn't purchased a vehicle in a while, we got to remember that the price point that we're looking at right here, I wish that was the out the door price point, right? But obviously we got to drop in tax, tag, and title. And then in some cases, we got to drop in some additional dealer fees and all that stuff, right? Absolutely negotiate those things. Now, you're not going to get people who are going to be lenient on those immediately. They're going to fight for every dollar they possibly can, because it's a strategy to put a lower sales price out here and then recoup my money on the back end with another $2,000 worth of dealer fees plus tax, tag, and title, right? Because, just strategically, people get more attracted by a lower number initially, and then once they've got a little bit emotionally involved into the purchase, then you hit them with some extra costs, and then they're like, oh, why not, right? So be ready and prepared for that, family. But with that being said, let's get into this one right here, right? Guys, we got a beautiful, silver on this one. I think this one's definitely looking to be the liquid platinum on this one. We got the black hard top on this one. Love those 21-inch wheels on this guy, right? When we get into the interior on this one, guys, they're not going to show us a picture of it, but it's that circuit red interior, which I absolutely think pops on this color. I mean, my gosh, I've had a chance to sit in this one, and I'm telling you, man, the red versus the black, in my personal opinion, it just makes this car stand out, especially when the top is down, or if you got the top down and all the windows up and they're not so dark to where you can still see that red on the inside. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's look at the Deets real quick. 37,000 miles on a 21, right? That's a little bit over the 10,000 year allotment, okay? If you're not considering the full year of 24, okay? So a little bit higher on the miles, but right, the fact that we've got the lowest priced convertible and we've only got one previous owner, no accidents, there is a little bit of a statement here about rental use, okay? I don't know if this was personal rental use, like, somebody was using one of these services to where they rent the vehicle out, which is probably the case, right? I mean, a quick check on the Carfax will help us to see if this was a rental company who was the previous owner, or if it was an individual who rented it out. And so we've got that information. Either way, interestingly enough with these vehicles, right? I mean, anybody who drives this car, just to hear that beautiful exhaust note, guys, yeah, I mean, normally with rentals, I'm thinking to myself, man, they're probably dogging it. They're not taking care of it, right? I would imagine that, the obligation on renting this car is going to be so high that two things are going to be obvious. Number one, I don't think it's as much of a, dog the car out, so to speak, because I just rented it, because I think, the person who you check this back in with is more than likely going to be meticulous to overview it and make sure that you don't need to pay anything before you step away, right? And the second part is that, listen, I think that, look, the elephant in the room is that you don't rent a car like this right here to not hear that note, right? So yeah, I mean, anybody who rents it or drives it, right, you better believe they're going to absolutely get some beautiful 0 to 60s out of this bad boy, just so they can hear what all the hype is about, okay? That being said, personally, again, I'm going to look into this, look into Carfax. I'm not as concerned, especially once I take this through my due diligence and I get all the, no dings, dents, no scratches, no scrapes, what I'm saying? Everything checks out mechanically from the dealership. Yeah, I'm not as concerned about the rental aspect. And let's face it, the rental piece might be why we've got a little bit elevated miles as well, okay? All right, but if you're looking, family, for a beautiful, liquid platinum exterior, circuit red interior, you want to be able to drop the top, right, when the sun is not beaming at its highest, You got 72,000 as a starting price, right? But start negotiation price, then I absolutely think you should take a look at this one. And then last but not least, family. Now listen, I know we're probably split in the middle, right? Some of you guys are like, why are you even putting this highly customized vehicle in front of us, right? A lot of us in the community, when we see something like this right here, this is great to look at, but not everybody's going to want to buy it. Now, the other side of the community is very much like, hey, you know what? I'm open to some mods, especially if they can be reversed. Okay. Either way, guys, because we've got the price point we've got on this car tonight, which is why I'm going to kind of go at this in a different approach. I'm going to talk about the specs first, and then we'll look at the pictures on the car, right? But I had to at least get this out here for us, okay? Family, we got a 2020 Lexus LC500, okay? We have got a illustrious infrared is what's underneath this interesting and unique wrap, okay? Which, again, sought after exterior color. We've got a black interior, okay? 11,000 miles, right? 11,000 miles. So when you ask, why do I have this Dragon's Lair LC500 on the channel or on the lineup tonight, it's because we've got a 2020 with 11,000 miles. Guys, 0 accidents, one previous owner, coming in at $71,888. Now, the algorithm already says we're $5,000 below market. And family, yeah, I'm gonna back that up. I'm gonna double down on that. I don't know if we're 5,000. Let's be transparent. I don't know that we're 5,000, but this thing is absolutely a low price with low mileage. And let's just take a look at what we've got here, right? So now I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm gonna be honest because sometimes I want just a straight vanilla LC500, right? Just give it to me plain. In other times, I'm open to see what other people's, creativity will do with this car. Now, I have never seen a wrap like this. I mean, this looks like Dungeons and Dragons. But with that being said, I mean, I think there's definitely a place for a vehicle like this. It's not the worst. I mean, okay, it ain't my favorite LC500 build, but look, we've got a wrap that is definitely going to catch some attention, right? We've got the black completely done here. Family, that is because I see the reflection down there, that's probably carbon fiber. Because if it was a wrap, these wraps are either gloss or black. So let me not get too far into this, right? So let's just say that we either have carbon fiber down here or we have it gloss wrapped, similar to the surround here, okay? Doesn't look like they touch the headlights. But let's see what else we got here. We got the black. These are factory more than likely, right? They could have been shot over with a gloss black to just kind of match this theme even better. Not 100% sure on that. I think a quick check when you get to this in person will absolutely tell us that story, right? Does not look to be a a performance package, at least, because I don't see the spoiler lines in the back here, right? Again, did not touch the black back here or the headlights, still that gray from the factory. Definitely touched the top right there, though, so I don't know if that's wrapped or not. Okay, we've got the katana blades that have been wrapped. Okay, obviously tint on this thing. Yep, maybe hard to tell. Obviously, we're debadged here. I mean, we're not just debadged. I mean, we've taken the Lexus emblems off completely. Yeah, I mean, I think these are. I'm hoping that they just took the caps out of the Lexus so that they could just get a more seamless appearance here. But double check that, right? You guys know that traditionally aftermarket, right? Like if you hop out there on eBay and type in, Lexus LC500 21-inch wheels, you guys will see replicas. And traditionally, right, you can spot the replica because the cap is just flat. But I'm not going to lean in too far on that for this vehicle because right? The person clearly had a look they were going for. And if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is not like Tony Carter picked up this car and said, this is what I want it to look like. This is absolutely a project car, right? And by project, I mean SEMA, you know what I'm saying? Some probably, you know, some charity type deal. This is a little too far into a specific look, right? To where I think this was just somebody who said, "Hey, listen, I want an LC500 that look like it's in the dragon's lair, or that it looks like a dragon, right? Being tamed." That I think personally, this is a project car, and that's why we've got something that's themed out. Now, I'll also say too that whenever you get those project cars, traditionally, right, the the outcome is traditionally better, right? Because it's a shop in most cases, or that's doing the project, or at least it's a partnership with a shop, right? And so there's a little bit more investment in something when you do it like that, right? These Bridgestones don't look to have the best tread, which again, that could just be the stack on these Bridgestones, but I would definitely take a look at these. They just feel like we got a little bit more gap in between the wheel well, and that's probably because we've just got a lot of the tread wore off on these, right? Here's another reason why I'm feeling like this is probably a project vehicle, right? Guys, look at the wrap. It goes all the way in to the vehicle, right? So I'm liking that on a couple things if you just love this wrap, right? Number one, right? If this would have been like somebody wrapped it in the backyard, they would have definitely not come all the way in here like that, because it's a lot more meticulous to do. I bet you if we get a chance to see the other, I mean, look at right here, even underneath here, all in there, guys, is wrapped like that. I doubt I'm going to get a chance to see the the back side of it. Probably not. But more than likely, you know, the seals on the door on the other side all wrapped too, which I can appreciate, right? Because sometimes when you get exterior wraps, but then they open the door and it's like, oh, this is a red car, or oh, this is a blue car or a green car. You know, it just shows that, you know what, this probably wasn't the most highest caliber, or the person just didn't 100% lean all the way in and say, let's get this done the best way we possibly can. All right. Okay, guys, we got the black interior here, right? It looks like we have a sports package. Okay, so we've got these sports seats with the Alcantara inserts. Again, guys, 11,000 miles on a 2020. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think that speaks for itself. Let's see, we got a lot of pictures. Let me see if anything else pops up as unique, because I'm curious if they've done anything else. I mean, this thing looks to be new, right? I mean, they've armor-alled it a little bit here. Um, yeah, see right here, guys? This is what I was talking about earlier, right? So the door jams, all that stuff's been wrapped, okay? Again, for somebody who's like, excuse me, I can't stand this wrap, that's not going to matter to you. But I think at the very least, right, it says that, guys, more than likely we had somebody who absolutely knew what they were doing on this one. And now, interestingly enough, I'm going to have to double check the back on this one, because if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, right, no glass top on this one. So it could either be one or two things. Could be a sports package with the carbon fiber top on this bad boy, or this could be a performance package. And let me just double down on that back if we've got any pictures, and see if by some chance I didn't catch the retractable spoiler. Yeah, there's that infrared. All right. Carbon fiber, is that a carbon fiber or is that OEM? No, that's OEM. Yeah, I mean, okay, guys, now that we've got the, oh, that's interesting. That blends in really well. That's interesting that we didn't wrap this piece right here, right? Again, blends in really well, right? We've got the black top on this guy right here. This is not a, if it is a performance package, they wrapped over it, right? Which I doubt somebody would do that, right? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm leaning that this is there's that carbon fiber top. So this is definitely, I'm thinking this is a sports package with the carbon fiber top, not a performance package. Tires probably are not in the best of shape, which I discussed earlier. Now that I see these wheels up close, they could have been sprayed. Okay, so real quick, I mean, obviously, right, we're talking about a 2020, 71,000 miles, $71,000, 11,000 miles, right? Guys, couple options here. Number one, right, you love this wrap and you're like, sheesh, I ain't mad at this. I pick this up and roll it just like it is. Okay. Or you're like, love the fact that we got a 2020, and more than likely, right? More than likely, somebody's not coming in here and dropping $71,000 on this vehicle. You know, this is the painful story that we learn either through our own experience or other owners' experience, is that when you customize a LC500, more than not, and sadly, doesn't matter how tastefully you do it. Sadly, whenever there is a customized LC500 on the market, it goes for less than a non-custom LC500. Okay. So the reality is that nobody's going to swoop in here and be like, you know, hey man, I just got to have this, give it to me. If they do, then guys, I would absolutely tell you to negotiate, because while the base of this is a tremendous opportunity, you know, we've still got a little bit of money in professionally removing this wrap, because I think it was done extremely well, which means that I think your paint's going to be in great condition underneath it. But with that being said, if you're buying this in with the mind state of I need to get this back to infrared, guys, you're probably going to have some good amount of money invested in taking this to the right place to have them remove this to where they don't damage the paint on the vehicle. Okay. So I wouldn't go in here and offer $71,888. I mean, I'd start, you know, pretty low, somewhere in that 65 range. And then, you know, understand what you want to do with the car, how much it's going to cost you after you pick this vehicle up to get it to where you want it. And then I'd start negotiating with the folks out here at Unique Auto Mall. Because let's face it, more than likely they definitely got this for a tremendous price, because you take this to any other dealer and they're probably going to be like, you know what, as much as we appreciate what's underneath the wrap, I think the wrap's going to probably throw a lot of people off, and so they're not going to value this car at what it would be valued if it was just a 2020 infrared with 11,000 miles. So there's my take on that one. Fam, that is our episode for the week. I will have all the details of what we discussed tonight in the comments. You guys have a beautiful weekend. Godspeed.